everyone, and welcome to a much more informal introduction into Linx. Now, the reason for this video in particular is firstly because I want to talk a little bit, just for a short while, about the background of Linx, where it come from, that kind of thing, where they come from, and the work that was involved to get to where we are now. Secondly, I want to talk about a new release that's going to be added to the Linx range very, very soon. First of all, I'm just going to show you this. This is a basic setup that actually I've been kind of using to store things, batteries, and this consists of, most of these are kind of trial prints. These patterns you can't see on the website yet, so I'm kind of trying things out. And I've got one of the dual store boxes underneath here that I just kind of have random bits in a minute, but just to give you an idea kind of how I run these things myself personally, this is kind of what I have going at the minute, along with other bits and bobs that I'm trying out. So this is kind of a basic setup which you could obviously build yourself. Not quite like this one, but close enough. Moving that to the side, I wanted to show you guys something. This is many test prints. This is different versions, different variations, trying different colors, trying different depths, trying all sorts of different kind of styles and ways of doing things, and what works, what doesn't, what looks good, what's practical. You see this thing here, I've honestly tried all sorts. And again, with the boxes, this is one of the original store boxes. Now we've got all these slots in them, and we've changed a lot of things about how they clip together. But this is just kind of to give you an idea as to where it starts. And the thing with Linx was getting everything to be compatible, click together, also offering enough variety of options, what you can do with the Linx tray, which is continuing to evolve. But these are just trays that there's as you can see, quite a lot. It wasn't a 5-minute job putting Linx together, and it isn't when you design anything. What I found was I just wanted something to be practical, simple. A decent price was a main thing. I didn't want this to be an expensive bit of kit. I wanted it to be something that's very easy to put together, very understandable, doesn't need a lot of effort to kind of get what the idea is. But it's slowly progressing and slowly changing and slowly kind of evolving, I suppose. And that's one thing that I really like about the Linx platform as such, is that it offers a lot more versatility, especially down the line. I've got a lot of ideas that I'm working on. One in particular is one that we're going to be releasing very, very soon. There's lots to talk about this. This is what's currently called the tray station. And it is basically a all-in-one build plate. The only thing is this doesn't have a battery, so it's not something that you can fire from. Apart from that, it has pretty much everything you need to kind of build on your tanks and drippers and RTAs and all that kind of stuff. Now, at the minute, I do have it on one of the store boxes, and I have a number of bits and bobs in this store box that we can kind of go through. And at the end, I'll have a nice little bit of old school flat cap kind of video to do with me building on this Geek Vape Talo X. The tray station is quite simply almost everything you need in one to build your tanks or drippers. First of all, you might be wondering what on earth this obscure thing is. This is something that was actually, it was an idea that I had thought about something, but I hadn't thought about it like this. And it was actually Andy Wilkinson who kind of, I'd say, prompted me with the idea. This is something that's not a necessity when you're building, absolutely not a necessity, but it's a different tool. It's something that you might find handy at times. It's something you might use every single time, depending on your experience and how you build. This is first of all, it's a coil inner diameter checker. So you see you've got 2.5, 3, 3.5 and 4 millimeters, and you can put your coil, we'll get a coil out and I'll show you. If you're not sure of the inner diameter of your coil, you quite simply get your coil. I've got some lovely coils by Scott Coils, and you can just check. Okay, it's not a 4, it's not a 3.5. That's a 3 millimeter inner diameter coil or thereabouts. So once you've done that, you might be wondering, well, I need to feed my cotton through. But now there's different varieties. Going back to my lovely store box, in here I do have some of the shoelace stuff, which is pretty much perfect. I'll get one of those, and I get my coil inner diameter. Now I know that coil is 3 millimeter inner diameter, and if I just feed that through there, you'll see this is quite stiff, it's firm, but it does feed through. And so you know that's a pretty darn good diameter cotton to use with a 3 millimeter inner diameter coil. Now, when it comes to kind of odd bits of cotton you might have kicking around, or the big clumps, that's when you're going to have to kind of tear pieces off. Things like cotton gods, those kind of cottons, you're going to have to tear apart. So that's when this might come a little bit handy. Rather than pulling through a bit of cotton through a coil that's too big, you can check it first with this. Now, this actually, I'm not going to lie, this is kind of like pre-made to do the job, because I didn't want to spend so much time faffing around pulling off bits of cotton. But if I pull that through the 4, for example, through the 4mm, you'll see it's pretty loose. It pulls through, oh, it breaks, but it pulls through, most of it pulls through far too easily. However, if I give that a little twist again with my dry, do you ever get that where your fingers are so dry you can't grip cotton? And I go through the 3mm, you will see that you get a nice kind of stiff but not too stiff pull. So you know that cotton roughly is the right diameter for the 3mm in a diameter coil. So obviously this goes 2.5, 3, 3.5 and 4. I have been thinking about doing bigger and smaller, but to be honest, I don't think for most people they're around this range with the inner diameter of their coil. Now this does click in place like that. You can pull it out quite easily, but it is kind of in there, and the same goes for everything else apart from the drip I've got there. If I lift the whole thing up, I've got that tank on there, so that might make a difference, but you see it's kind of in there pretty well, but with a bit of weight on there, obviously it will pull out. Got on to the second thing, which obviously you know what these are, you've seen these 1,000 times. Massive props to the coily and Simon and everything he done. This is not the coily, this is a very simple, much more scaled down version of the coily. If it wants to focus, there you go. Very, very simple, just 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8mm, and you can see it step down. And same as always, you get your coil, you pop it in the top, you hold it on the measurement you want, and then you just cut the legs off, so you know then you've got the right height coil legs. Very, very simple. We've seen them a million times now. Unfortunately, they got ripped off and copied all the time, and yes, I know that means now that I am part of that game, but this isn't a separate thing, neither is the coil ID check. It all comes as part of the tray station. Now on to the third thing. Obviously we've got a little space here for your coil pots. Now they do vary in size, however from all our tests the biggest we found is kind of 30mm in diameter, which is why that is that size. Like you've already seen, little hole there for an atomizer up to 30mm. And now this first of all, the green bit is what I'm calling the puck. It's just a very simple build stand for the tank or dripper that you're working on. You see it's cog shaped, that's so it can be easily gripped and removed. You can see there you've got a kind of little nipple in the middle there and that hole there, so that sits in there quite lovely. And as you build, you can turn this around if you need to, but also if you want to build but like holding like this, then you can easily enough as well. If I just pop this off for a second and unscrew this doesn't have a metal 510 thread. This is just like all the other attyStack products we've got where it's plastic threaded. I've had no problems. I've had no complaints from other customers about the threading going weak or something breaking. I make this with quite a lot of strength, so it's designed to kind of withstand threading and unthreading quite a lot. If you did have a problem, I would be more than happy to replace it free of charge. So if I just screw the RDA back on there, we see it sits in there very nicely. It's not going to pull out very easily. You have to really crank it to pull that off, and you'd break the whole thing, to be fair. So what we have here is just a basic build station. It's got everything you might need. Now when you do pair it with one of our boxes, you then got all your storage underneath, so everything is compact all in one place. It's not going to come out and fall out very easily. It's all held in there really nicely. Now we're going to be offering this in a number of different varieties. First of all, you're going to have the tray color, which is an option. Then the accessories or the tools as such are going to be a second color option. Now there are other things you can do if you wanted to. If you weren't too keen on this kind of idea, then you can have it, instead of having it with that, you could have it with a piston which fits in there nice. This is the 55mm piston that will fit in there absolutely fine. We're also going to have options to use the Pokeball, which is going to have a stand specifically to sit in this space, so you could have the Pokeball as your build stand. And the same with the Death Star as well. We're going to have the Death Star option, so you can have a Death Star on there instead of any of the options. But the cheapest option and the most basic is like this. This is what you're going to get, not even without the box. That's the tray station right there like that, and of course you can buy all the added extras. Going back to colours, we have a few different colours obviously here that I've been playing around with. Now these are all, to be fair, kind of like tests. We're still doing a few final finishing pieces with this kit. This one obviously has got a bit of a mishmash of red and black, and the light struggles to pick it up, but you can see there, same kind of idea, same tools, clip in there nicely. And we've got here, which isn't actually finished right, but I'll show you anyway, just to give you an idea. We've got a blue and white one with the same thing, the white cog and the white tools, coil, everything else. So this is one of the early ones actually. See, you haven't got the lines across it like the others do, but yeah, you get the idea of where we're going with the tray station. So after all that, I think really we should probably do a build. I'm just going to finish by saying massive thanks to everyone who's supporting attyStack so far, particularly with the Linx range. It's been fantastic. So thanks very much. A lot of inquiries, a lot of interest, a lot of people asking about different things, particularly colours. I always mentioned colour briefly. There's only so many options that we really want to list on the website when it comes to colours. Some people prefer more multicolours if people order in certain stands or the attyStack products. They don't just want one colour, they might want more. Please send us a message and contact us, because I am happy to do different colour variants, but it's almost impossible to list every single option in every single colour for every single product. More because it can be confusing for some people. Some people, I just want black. I just want everything in black and I'm done. Other people want every colour under the sun in every different type and style. So if you do have a particular request, you're more than welcome to contact us, and I'm sure we'll be happy to help you with kind of exactly what you want. So again, massive thanks to everyone. Thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button, because no one does, and it'd be really nice if I had a couple of subscribers on the channel. And don't forget to hit the like button. And yeah, if you want to know anything more about this, attyStack, Google it. Now let's do a little build on this bad boy.
When you need my back, I'm here. When you need my back, where's my When you need my